County accept his historical collection that Larry compiled as a local historian over the years here in Amador County into our county archives. Larry had a wealth of information and historical memorabilia, all relevant to Amador County, and we were requested to accept that gift from the Sonato Family Trust and preserve it in our local archives, and the board was happy to do so, and on a 5-0 vote accepted that gift graciously from the Sonato family. Next on our agenda was Victory Village, the Veteran Services Organization's request for certification of local approval for a grant program to help with homelessness among the veterans population. This focuses on either single veterans or veterans and their families, and seeks to provide services, housing stabilization services, and other services to help prevent homelessness amongst the veterans population. It actually is a complementary grant application to an earlier grant that was awarded Victory Village, the Supportive Services Veterans and Families grant that they were awarded earlier this year. They conduct those services both from their location up on Kennedy Flat Road as well as a mobile program that they have, because this grant that they asked for is relevant to providing those services in 3 of our local counties, Calaveras, Amador, and Tuolumne. They have purchased a laptop and a van to mobily access those veterans in need and help provide those services on a more mobilized basis. So the board voted to provide that certification of local acceptance to Victory Village. Next, we went on to an administrative item that was a request from the City of Ione to allow a contracting firm that they have contracted with to access the county's State Board of Equalization records. This is relevant to sales tax distribution and allocation collected from the construction project of the new Mule Creek State Prison infill project. As many of you are aware, CDCR, the state of California, is constructing an infill facility down at the Mule Creek Prison, adding an additional 1,584 bed facility down there, and part of the negotiation in preparation for local acceptance of that project was the allocation of sales tax to stay within the county, basically naming the construction site the point of sale so that all materials in excess, I believe, of $5 million would defer to the local economy in terms of their sales tax collected for those material sales. It is a $330 million project, so there's some significant numbers there that need to be allocated correctly, either to the County of Amador, the City of Ione, and maybe in some cases to the City of Sutter Creek, because Amador Transit, our local concrete provider, is one of the major suppliers down at that project. We subsequently went on to acceptance of our draft meeting schedule calendar. The board has to prioritize and plan its meetings for all of the next year, 24 Board of Supervisors meetings, a host of Board of Equalization and AFPD and other meetings throughout 2015, so that was taken care of. Next up was an item that was brought up by me, actually, to work with Amador Water Agency and the other affected water agencies, both in Calaveras and Amador County, regarding the cost to defend our county's water rights against the proposed wild and scenic legislation for the McCalmy River that Foothill Conservancy and others brought forward last year. You may recall they utilized a very fast track called gut and amend process, took a bill out of Parks and Rec and inserted it into a natural resources bill to promote and try to legislate the inclusion of the McCalmy River in the wild and scenic designation. This had the very strong, not just possibility, but factual application of a hindrance of Amador County's and Amador Water Agency's water rights on the McCalmy River. We worked for months, as you may recall, negotiating with the parties, trying to get language into the bill that would protect our long-term water rights to be able to perfect those water rights. Many agencies had their water rights curtailed, which meant they could no longer draw water off of the river system, whatever it was, as a result of drought conditions that they utilized for their water, so their only reliable source thereafter was stored water. At any rate, the fight to defeat that bill was successful, but had a cost to the taxpayers and local ratepayers of $123,472, and we felt it was only fair that both the county and other water agencies share in that expense that was borne 100% by AWA and their ratepayers. So we contributed, I believe, 27% of the cost of that bill, which is Amador's share, so to speak. Went on to a Community Facilities District hearing whereby annexing some additional parcels into the Fire Protection District, and lastly at 1 o'clock had a workshop on the State Route 88 Pine Grove Corridor project, an update and funding allocation that the Board of Supervisors basically wanted to give direction to myself and the other supervisor for project priorities of our STIP funding. That was the extent of our day. Went till 5:30 in the afternoon, and thank you for listening. We're going to break. We'll be back soon.
You're watching Amador County's local television network.